لله الحمد لله علي الذات عظيم الصفات سميع السمات كبير الشأن جليل القدر رفيع الذكر مطاع الأمر جليل البرهان فخيم الاسم غزير العلم وسيع الحلم كثير الغفران جميل الثناء جزيل العطاء مجيب الدعاء يميم الإحسان سريع الحساب شديد العقاب عليم العذاب عزيز السلطان ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له في الخلق والأمر ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله المبعوث إلى الأسود والأحمر المنعوت بشرح الصدر ورفع الذكر وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين هم خلاصة العرب العرباء وخير الخلائق بعد الأنبياء أما بعد فيا أيها الناس وحدوا الله فإن التوحيد رأس الطاعات واتقوا الله فإن التقوى ملاك الحسنات وعليكم بالسنة فإن السنة تهدي إلى الإطاعة ومن أطاع الله ورسوله فقد رشد واهتدى وإياكم والبدع فإن البدعة تهدي إلى المعصية ومن يعص الله ورسوله فقد ضل وغوى وعليكم بالإحسان فإن الله يحب المحسنين وادعوه فإنه مجيب الداعين واستغفروه يمددكم بأموال وبنين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وننزل من القرآن ما هو شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين ولا يزيد الظالمين إلا خسارا. Brothers and sisters, firstly I apologize for being a bit late today. Got stuck in the traffic, but of course I'm just going to make sure that we can still end on time, obviously respecting your time. So in this short time that I have, I just want to talk about something that we can apply in our day-to-day lives quickly, but that has a huge magnitude. Right? It's a small thing that has big effects, and that is the aspect of being thankful. In the verses of fasting in Surah Al-Baqarah, which is a tenet of our faith, which is a pillar of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concludes these verses by saying that, and that you may be thankful. And you be thankful for what? The first and foremost thing is that you're thankful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's tawfiq to you, that He guided you to worshiping Him. The only issue that stands between this is basically what we were created for, to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the only thing that stands between this aspect of thankfulness and pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and where we are is the shaitan. Because the shaitan, he promised to do that. You know, he said that I will come to them from before them and behind them, from their right and from their left. And Shaitan told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you will not find them, you will not find most of them as thankful ones. This was his challenge in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was in his arrogance, this is what he went. In his arrogance, this is what he said, and he said in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason why Shaitan said this is because Shaitan, he's not stupid. Right? I remember one sheikh, he was saying that if one person wanted to find the most knowledgeable individual, the most knowledgeable entity in the world, that's the shaitan. The shaitan, he has knowledge, right? Years and years and years, he has experience and he has knowledge. But that's the best way to get a job, right? The people who have both the experience and the degree. He has both. And he knows that the way people will be successful is that they're going to have shukr, they're going to be thankful. We all know the story of when the shaitan, he went and he tried to disrupt Ibrahim alayhi salam. When Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to sacrifice his son. We all know that Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was given this name, Khalilullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him known as a friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the text we see that Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was described as a ummah. He's one person, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described him as a ummah, a whole nation. And why is this? Because he was thankful for the graces of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was thankful again and again and again. No matter what happened, he just continually went back to thanks. Many ayahs in the Quran go along this same note. If we look at Surah Al-Dahr within the Quran, there's two names. One of them is time, and the other one is Surah Al-Insan. So the surah of basically that means man. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah, He speaks about bringing a man into existence after nothing. That He created him from this clot. Basically, He created him from nothing. And then from this clot that he was, he developed hearing, eyesight, senses. He could smell things, he could do things. And unlike other animals, he's been given this aspect of intelligence. And when you look at why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this, He tells us straight up. He says whether he is grateful or ungrateful. This is all a test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this as a test, just to see whether we'll be thankful for it or not thankful for it. So basically, when we look at the two types of people, one of them who attains Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure and gets Jannah, and the other one who fails to get that, and he ends up in the hellfire. What is the difference between these two people? It's summed down in one aspect, and that's thankful, unthankful. And there's numerous stories, numerous hadiths relating to this. And there's one particular story where there was this battle that went on. There was this conflict that went on. And a tribal chieftain, he was captured, right? He was captured by the Muslims. His name was Jummah. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he saw this man, he was captured, and he was tied to the pole of the masjid. So the Prophet ﷺ, he came to him and he said that, "Oh Jummah, what do you think?" And this man, he replies that, "Look, if you kill me, you will kill a great man, and then you can celebrate that you've killed me. If you free me, you're going to do a favor to a man who will be very thankful. And if you ask for wealth, I'll give you that. Whatever you ask for, I'll give it to you." And 2 days, this same thing went on. That the Prophet ﷺ, he went and he saw Jummah, he asked him, "What do you think?" And this man, he said, "What I told you before. And the third day, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Set Jummah free." Right? He didn't take any of these incentives from him. And what was he trying to teach him? He was trying to teach him this aspect of gratitude. Right? It seems a little bit abstract. But it was a lesson that caused this man to immediately, as on his way out, when you're a prisoner, typically when they get out of jail, the first place they're going to go is wherever, to their homes, whatever. This man, he straight up, he just went to the masjid, he took a bath, and he came back to the Prophet ﷺ, and he took the testimony, he took the shahada. And he said to the Prophet ﷺ that before this, there was nothing on this earth that I hated more than this religion. And now there's nothing more that I love more than this religion. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he did one favor to this man. He set him free. He set him free to show him the truth of Islam, the essence of Islam. That you can always come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you can always repent in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so we must be first and foremost thankful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this religion, and that more so at the hands of his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He did not send an angel to guide us. He sent a man who went through similar challenges just like us. And He sent the most beloved of His creation, that if He was not there, we would be in darkness. We don't understand it. All of us here, right? We came for Jummah, we're going to go back to our lives. We don't understand now, right? But if you really think about it, and you realize where you could have been, had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not guided you, had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not prevented you from all of these types of evils, where you could have been right now, if you realize the magnitude of reward, and the only way I can try to describe that to you is just reading about it. Reading the hadith, And indeed, you're going to see these types of rewards on the Day of Judgment. You're going to see these types of things in the grave, and you'll realize the magnitude of what it was. Right? Even the breath that we breathe in. In one day, people, they breathe in how many liters of oxygen? 15,000 liters. Well, imagine if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He charged you for this. Imagine if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala charged you for each liter. Go ask the people, right? Go ask the people who don't have a limb. Go ask the people who can't think, who have mental issues. Go ask the people who are going through various types of issues in their lives. This is what we were always told. And specifically, look at the people who weren't given this aspect of Islam. A lot of people today, they see this luxury, right? They see this luxury in the way other people live lives. And sometimes, especially within a college environment, a work environment, living where there's people who are around you who are doing all types of things, people don't realize what they have. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's given you this aspect of Islam, this dignity. He's put you in the ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This in and of itself is a huge honor. This is an honor that on the Day of Judgment you'll be able to walk up inshallah and drink from the hands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so the first step for thankfulness is realizing what you have. Right, Musa alayhi salam, it's narrated that one day he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, "Oh Allah, how can I thank you? That you've given me," and he says something very profound. He says that, "Oh Allah, you've given me 2 favors in every single hair in my body." Right, that you've softened the bottom part and you've twisted the top. Right, he was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he had, we take it that he had curly hair. That he was thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you've made the structure of it. And these are just every single hair in his body. He said that, "Oh Allah, how can I thank you?" And if you don't know what this means, go ask the people who have to have hair transplants, or people who are things like that. People who have issues in that regard. They'll tell you how much hair means. And furthermore, Musa alayhi salam was saying that you've made this hair something beautiful, that you've put it on me, that you've beautified me with it. So he's saying, "Oh Allah, how can I thank you? You've done this all over me." And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied that, "Oh Musa, as you admit, you are thankful." And so, one tip, right, and this is what I think is the go-to point, is that try to always, like, as Muslims, right, we're always supposed to be reflecting. We're always supposed to be pondering. This was the aspect of the Quran. This was the aspect of the Hadith. That's why we were given these profound texts, this profound tradition. Not to just look at it, not to just read it on your shelf for some type of ritualistic benefit. We're supposed to reflect and ponder on it, read and think about it. And similarly, on our situations, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided us to Islam, alhamdulillah, we're all Muslims, but we all know people who are Muslims by name, but are completely lost. We all know of times when we were sick, when we couldn't do things. We all know of people who are impaired in some type of way. If we don't think about these things, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us what He hasn't given others, the ability to think. What He hasn't given other species and animals, the ability to ponder and reflect. There's that famous story that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tested these 3 people. One of them he had leprosy, he had a skin disease. The other one was bald, the other one was blind. And the story is very lengthy, it's a beautiful narration. It's a very profound narration that all 3 of these people, an angel came to them as a messenger from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he basically, with the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, relieved them of their issues. And of these 3, they all started getting wealth. They had property, they had land, they had cattle, all this wealth. And so later on in the story, the angel, he came back to them in the form of a human being, and he said, "Look, I need help." And of those people, 2 of them, they shooed this messenger away. They said, "We earned this all by ourselves. Get away from here." And one of them, he said, look, before I had nothing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me all of this. Take whatever you want from my property. And of those two people, of those three people, those two people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He took away everything of them. Everything from them. And one person, the angel, he said that, right, you've been thankful to Allah. He basically said that you've been tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with you. And for me personally, one of the most beautiful ayahs that I always think about in the Quran is لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if you thank me, I'm going to increase you. And then He says, وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. He's almost equating an unthankful person with doing kufr. Right? He's almost equating it there. And so, if you're having a bad day today, and you said, oh Allah, thank you that you've given me another day to live where I can breathe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promises in the Quran, that لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. That His promise is that He's going to increase you because of what you said. It only goes up. It only goes up. People ask, why did I lose this? Why did I lose that? Right? When people, they lose a family member, when people, they lose money, when people get a bad grade on a test, the first thing they do is they don't say Alhamdulillah. That's the last thing they do. But if you just said that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would replace it with more and more and more. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise. So with that, I end with this just food for thought for all of us. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise is always indeed true. And if we only thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for every little thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase us. So for today, before you leave, make sure before you get up to do whatever you're going to do, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing you to be here, healthy, come to Jummah. So many people, I'm telling you, they want to come to the masjid, they can't. They want to pray, they can't. And you'll see when you get to the next world, there's so many people who wish they could have these opportunities, they couldn't. They weren't given that tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to be thankful, that He allows us to hold up this worth of being the ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we can be thankful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to drink from the hands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of judgment. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة. من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد من يعص الله ورسوله فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى. وصلى الله تعالى على النبي الكريم. قال الله تعالى إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت